Shipping is such a normal part of internet culture now that when a multi-million subscriber YouTuber makes a 20-minute video talking about who a fictional 10-year-old boy should be dating, nobody really bats an eye. Today I'm here to use my infinite anime YouTuber intellectual powers to expose the toxicity of shipping culture as a whole. And a case study I'll be using to do that is this little shit right here. And if you are a shipper, then I just want to say that I, Midnight J, Oppenheimer Rants, am better than you in every conceivable way. For the top 0.1% of humanity that actually managed to go outside and touch grass, I believe it is called, I'm going to give you a petite little rundown on what shipping actually is, because, you know, most normal, well-adjusted human beings do not. Any of those people have clicked on a video called Shipping Doesn't Matter and I'm Better Than You, but, you know, better safe than sorry. The Urban Dictionary's definition of shipping is a verb used to describe the action of wishing two characters to enter a relationship, whether romantic or occasionally platonic, in books, movies, TV shows, or real life. Shipping can often happen involuntarily, and it is the majority of what happens on the website Tumblr. There are some very popular ships, some unpopular, as well as often lots of controversy between ships from the same fandom. Basically, in the rare moments when a horny-ass teenager isn't thinking to themselves, man, I really want to bang this 2D anime character, they're thinking to themselves, man, I really wish this 2D anime character and this 2D anime character were banging each other. Teenagers can think these very contradictory things because they are stupid and everyone should laugh at them. Researching when the concept of shipping began is rather difficult. My intellectual, in-depth research method of Googling it only brings up results of the history of the maritime shipping industry, which became a bustling business around the 3rd century BC for your information. And I like to think that character shipping didn't begin in a linear time sense, more like it's a demonic entity that has always existed within the deepest, darkest depths of our aching hearts. And now with the invention of light-speed communication, you can finally peer into these shadows most terrible. It's also difficult to give examples of what fandoms have shipping because all of them do. Avatar, The Last Airbender, Mario, Harry Potter, Naruto, Boruto, My Hero Academia, Fortnite, The Bible, X-Files, Star Trek, Star Wars, Adventure Time, Avatar, The Legend of Korra, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th.
Mamma mia,
and just on and on and on and on and on. Very top of this infinite ladder of horror, the epitome of everything wrong with shipping as a concept as a whole. It's just everything wrong with shipping. The thing that represents that the most is somehow Pokemon. But shipping seems pretty innocuous so far, you may find your stupid self saying. What's your problem with shipping, Midnight? Just let people have fun. No, fans of shipping can get very, very emotional about even the romantic aspects of non-romance orientated shows, to the point where the people that work in the entertainment industry have received threats of violence, blackmail, and death threats over not conforming to a fan-made ship. A voice actor for Voltron, Legendary Defender, received so many death threats from fans that they were considering cancelling all of their public appearances for fear of their life. Another Voltron employee, an executive producer, was threatened with violence. Fans stated they would break their hands so they couldn't write for the show anymore. Another Voltron voice actor not only received death threats to themselves, but also to their entire family, which is a truly measured response to the horrific crime of not making two cartoon teenagers kiss. I'm surprised that half of the Voltron team wasn't wiped out by the time that show finished airing. What's wild is that Voltron isn't a highly unique case. There are plenty of fandoms with similar levels of hyperactive shipping communities. Of course, the vast majority of shippers don't go that far. Such incidents are simply indicative of just how the culture of shipping seems to warp a person's mind. I don't know exactly why, but when a shipper sees someone on social media even hinting that maybe, just maybe, their fanship between an 11-year-old ginger rat and 10-year-old professional cockfighter doesn't make canonical sense, that acts as the shipper's Winter Soldier trigger word and sends them into a fugue state of murderous intent, the ferocity of which can range from just being passive-aggressive to their enemy, or, murder. If you don't believe me and think I'm not giving enough concrete examples of this phenomena, I want you to go on Reddit or Twitter or TikTok, whatever social media you make the active effort to use in order to greatly drop the quality of your life experience, and look up anything to do with shipping, and then read the comments. You won't regret it, I promise. So as you can see, the culture is rather widespread and rather colourful. Fiction exists, horny people exist, so shipping is everywhere. It's almost like an inescapable, abstract, Lovecraftian horror. The case study I want to focus on today is perhaps the greatest highlighter of everything wrong with shipping, and maybe even humanity as a whole. This 10-year-old little love life is so obsessed with by the Pokemon fandom, we may need to send some special ops team directly into the intangible plane of the internet, like some sort of cyber psychonauts elite squadron, because these motherfuckers are absolutely wild. An unhealthy amount of the Pokemon fandom cares way too much about who Ash ends up with, so that can only mean one thing, right? Ash's love arcs, I guess, must be integral to the canon of the entire Pokemon universe. So let's go over all of Ash's romantic options and see if we can come to a conclusion. Who should Ash date? First, of course, there's Ashty. Oh my god. Ash and Misty, the original couple. Oh, they go so well together. She's such a tomboy. You've also got Ash May, Ash Orn, Ash Orc, and Ash Ardevoir. People marrying Pokemon isn't weird. It's a canonical Sinnoh tradition. And there's also Ash Anus. If Ash doesn't end up with Serena, I'm literally going to kill someone. Literally. There's so many different options, but just who should Ash be with? Let me lay it down for you. I don't care who this 10-year-old kid that catches magical creatures for a living ends up romantically involved with. Ash could be in a polyamorous relationship with 17 Bidoofs, and I would not give a single flying just shut up. Just shut the hell up. When I watch Pokemon, I want to see an electric mouse deep fry an omnipotent giraffe. I don't care about this 10-year-old's love life, and neither should you. Ash and Serena make such a good pair. Oh, he's got to end up with a classic girl like Misty or Dawn. No, he doesn't. His romantic life is infinitely unimportant. It just doesn't matter. Ash's romantic life has no bearing on the plot, doesn't enhance the core concept of catching and battling magical creatures in any way whatsoever, and also he's 10. Why do people care so much about the romantic life of a fictional 10-year-old to the point where they're going to start shipping wars, as they're called, and just go full Karen mode in their own communities? I mean, shipping wars is an actual just normal term people throw around. So I remember seeing in the comment section of that MatPat video, and it was like all the Pokemon shipping fans, oh my god, he's going to start such a shipping war in our community. No one thought like, oh, that's kind of fucked up actually. That's kind of weird. That's gonna happen. It's like people are like, oh no, it's gonna happen, shipping war. It's like no one's thinking maybe that's like a messed up thing in general, right? It's like something that shouldn't be happening, but it's just gonna be inevitable. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm gonna get into like why shipping in general isn't that important. Like that's gonna set off a lot of people, that sentence. Just give me a minute though. But also, I don't understand why people care so much about like, it's because Ash is 10, right? Why do people care about his love life? Because kids are so ugly. I don't get it. They're like the most real life equivalent of goblins. And like, do you remember romance when you were 10? And I was 10. If you talked to a girl, you were fucking gay. That was just the rules of the playground. If you like spend time playing tag with girl, whoa, you touched a girl on the shoulder? What are you, a flagrant homosexual? And it's just, I don't get it. There's just no synergy between 10-year-old and romance. It makes zero sense in universe, out universe, just in general. It's just I'm just flabbergasted. My brain is, dare I say, completely discombobulated. There's no true English language word that can fully express just how mind-numbingly stupid it is to care so much about Ash's love life. If Ash ends up with Misty or whoever, just pick which little rat, I don't care, and people start whining because he didn't end up with another whatever rat, Serena, whoever, and just know these people are fragile, infantile, whippersnappers. And before I hear any of that, oh, if it doesn't matter, then why do you care about us shipping? What's your problem, man? Just let us have fun. They know exactly why, these gormless petite cretins. They're not just having fun. They're being an arsehat to people that ship two different characters together. Sure, most shippers aren't attempting to murder their enemies, as far as we know, but if you go to literally any discussion of romance in Pokemon, in any community, Reddit, Twitter, what have you, there's gonna be an inevitable flame war that's just horrible to behold, that you can't look away from. It's kind of like a car crash, really. It's just almost embarrassed to associate with the Pokemon community for similar reasons why I'm embarrassed to associate with the Dragon Ball community, except with Dragon Ball it's the power scalers, because of course it is, but with Pokemon it's shipping. It's just embarrassing. It's almost difficult. Okay, I want to talk to hot internet goth girls about my interests, because if a cool person finds this right and is wondering that why don't I get the goth girls, it's because for some strange peculiar reason hot goth girls are into nerds right now, and that these stocks are up for nerds. Like we're eating good. Except because I love like stuff like Pokemon and Dragon Ball and steez like that, it's really difficult for me. Because the goth girls are like ingratiated in these communities. They know that, okay, that's kind of weird. You're not like the shippers. And so it's never been harder for a nerd to get Poontang. And it's a shame, because that's how it was in like the 80s, right? And like you see all those movies where it's the nerds are the underdogs. But we're meant to be eating good. Society has meant to have evolved, but it's the goddamn shippers. They're ruining it for all of us, man. Like, I don't care, alright? I don't care if the community's positive, because I love these communities, I want them to be nice, I want them to be wholesome, I want them to be places where anyone can go and just have a fun time and talk about their interests. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I want goth girl Poontang. That's what I want, and I'm not getting it, because... Oh, by the way, spoiler alert for Pokemon, Ash's story ended without him ending up romantically involved with anyone, because of course it did. And even if in the new series Pokemon Horizons we see like almost like Inazuma 11, where it goes on to the next series and the characters have aged up, and then Endo Mamoru, you know, when he ends up with his wife, that girl from the previous season, the redhead. I don't know, I haven't watched anime in a while. Anime sucks. If it's like that and we see like adult Ash with like a, I don't know, any of the rats, I don't care. It still really doesn't matter. Of course the community to be why did you end with this one or this one or this one? You need to just shut up and calm down, alright? And the main reason that it doesn't matter isn't just because shipping doesn't apply to Pokemon, because of all of the reasons, but also just in general, shipping doesn't matter. People need to understand that when it comes to fiction, there is a big difference between shipping and romance. As an anime YouTuber, I can't really claim to be an expert on the topic of romance stories or, romance in general, but I like to think I'm more knowledgeable than the people that start flame wars over a fictional 10-year-old's non-existent love life. So take what I'm about to say however you will. In a good romance-orientated story, it doesn't actually matter who the main character ends up with. If Mr. Protagonist marries the girl of his dreams, or if he ends up with some random side character, or with no one at all because all of his potential lovers get eaten by dinosaurs, it doesn't actually matter as long as the message of the story is conveyed well. If your protag ends up with someone he doesn't actually love because his actions drove away his true love, this could be a writer's conveyance to the audience that those actions should be avoided. If the protag overcomes a deep personal problem like anxiety, thus allowing them to ask out the girl of their dreams, the message could be one of self-help and hope. No matter how light or dark or strange the romance plot is, if it is written well and brilliantly showcases an aspect of love that the writer cares about, then the romance story is usually good. Who the character actually ends up with is insignificant in relation relation to why they end up with who they end up with, what that relationship says about love, how that relationship affects the characters. The beloved main character of a story could end up with an evil, manipulative bitch that ruins their life, and that can still be a good ending to a story. Shippers aren't concerned with the story. They care only for making their favorite characters make out. This obviously doesn't come from a writing perspective, it comes from personal desire. Let's look at Ash again. Let's say in the anime, Ash was allowed to grow up to an age where he becomes romantically interested in others because he's 10, and I'm not writing this if he's 10. He enters a toxic relationship with a girl that causes him to spend less time with Pikachu, the rest of his Pokemon, and from all of his human friends. Overall, it really makes his life worse in every conceivable way. Even if this plot was written perfectly, beautifully, mesmerizingly, the ravenous Pokemon shipping fandom would be hellishly enraged, and the story's writer would probably be found headless in some Luton alleyway. When a protagonist you like gets hurt, it does tug on your heartstrings, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, one might say it's kind of the whole point of a story. It's actually a very good thing and makes stories incredible and worth telling in the first place because of the conflict, the inner emotional turmoils, and either overcoming or succumbing to them, whatever the story is trying to tell. But to a shipper, if the character they're hyper-fixated on is in a relationship with a character they don't believe suits them, they will see that as an insult. How dare the writers put Ash in a relationship with someone who's bad for him when he should be having an oomphy uwu time with Serena? What I'm saying is, romance is important, shipping is not. If you're horny as hell and want to mash two hot action figures together, then you do you. I completely understand. Again, mad at other people for wanting to do the exact same thing but with two different action figures is completely brain dead stupid. And to the unhinged fellas that are way too obsessed with the love lives of fictional characters, before you send the hate comments and death threats and the cyanide-filled cupcakes, just know that I'm better than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm hotter than you. I'm just better than you in every conceivable way. Sure, you can hate me, you can unalive me even, but that'll never take away from the fact that I'm just better than you. Every female child in Pokemon is ugly, and so are you. Be sure to like and subscribe. Goodbye. Ooh.